how's it going, everybody? I just want to bring a quick video to you guys. A lot of things that come up when people are going through our program is they want to know why their credit score dipped. And whether that's when you're first going into our program or it happened before or during the program. So we want to go ahead and address the issue, let you guys know some things that are common as to why your scores might drop. So I got my notes. I'm just going to go ahead and take a quick glance and see exactly the bullet point that I'm talking about, so we can go ahead and express and detail kind of what's going on with that. So one of the things that's going to give you a quick dip in your credit score is that you're not making your payments on time. So if you become late in making your payments, this could cause a decrease in your credit score. Now, what we always recommend is to make sure that you have all your payments set up on auto draft, whether that's through your bank, through automatic bill pay, or through the credit card, and you can go ahead and just set that payment to automatically come out, the minimum payment on that due date. So that's very important, especially if you're one that tends to forget to make your payments on your accounts. It's very, very important to make sure that you get your account set up on auto draft or auto bill pay with your bank. Okay. Next thing is that you may be applying for credit. Now, a lot of times people are buying a house or a car, and their credit gets shotgunned to multiple different banks trying to get them approved for the loan. This could have a negative impact because sometimes the banks don't report accurately as far as the type of inquiry that was. Now, whenever you're applying for a mortgage or a auto loan, usually what they do is they take all those loans from the first date of that first inquiry, and they run it sometimes 14 to 30 days, and they'll run that and count all the inquiries within that time frame as one inquiry. However, it does show as multiple inquiries. Now, if they're not reporting that inquiry was based on a auto loan or a mortgage, sometimes they'll just report it as a bank loan. Okay. If they do that, then what could happen is it won't count as that one inquiry. It might count as multiple inquiries. So it's very important to understand that this is one of the other reasons that you can have a dip in your credit score. Okay, next one we're going to go ahead and talk about is credit utilization. Credit utilization is very, very, very important. I can't stress how important this is to you. Now, credit utilization is basically how you use your revolving accounts. Now, the best percentage of your credit limit and your balance that you want to be at is you want to be anywhere between 1% to 7%. Anytime you go over that 7% threshold, what happens is your scores tend to dip down. When your scores dip down, it's based on using your credit cards a little bit too much. What I like to do is I tell my clients just to keep your utilization under 10%. So whatever your credit limit is, you take off that last number and don't spend over that amount. Case in point, let's go ahead and take a $10,000 credit card. You slash that last zero. Don't ever spend over $1,000. If you do, just know that your scores will start to dip down once you go over that 7% threshold. 10%, easy number to keep that figure close to you, so you know exactly how much to spend, how much not to go over. If you do go over, your scores are going to dip down. How do you get your scores to increase? Pay it down. Okay. So, and another thing, I want to piggyback on this, because one of the main things when people come into our program, one of the main things is they don't have any revolving accounts. They have everything that's on there. They have a lot of collection accounts, a lot of charge-offs. And if this is the case, we have a way to fix that. Okay, it's very important to understand what I'm about to tell you and kind of how this works. So your FICO scores is based upon 5 sections. Okay, payment history is how you pay your bills. You know, are you paying the bills? Are you late? Are you going into charge off? Do you have public records? Things of this nature. When you receive a late payment, you know, you get the 30, 60, 90 days, all the way up to 180 days is when they start to charge off your account. So if you have the charge off account, you don't have any open revolving accounts. You don't have any Open installment accounts. What is an installment account? Installment account could be a personal loan, student loan, auto loan, things like that. That's a installment account. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to focus on properly rebuilding your credit. Now, how do you properly rebuild your credit? Very simply. Let me go ahead and explain how we're going to do this. First thing is you want to have a minimum of 3 revolving accounts. We always suggest 3 to 5 revolving accounts. Now you might say, I can't get an account, I can't get approved, I'm always getting denied. We have a solution for you. We've addressed the issue, we've addressed the problem. Now we want to present the solution for you. Now, we have accounts, and keep in mind, they are subprime accounts. What is a subprime account? A subprime account is for people who need to get approved, but their credit won't qualify them to get approved for the accounts that they really want. So how do we combat this? We figured out a way with the thousands of clients that we've gone through on how to specifically get into accounts that are going to get you to start your credit rebuilding process. Now, we want you to have 3 to 5 minimum, okay? Now, we have a blueprint for you. We call it our credit building blueprint. And what is a blueprint? Our blueprint consists of some accounts that you can get. They're subprime accounts. We have 2 jewelry accounts. We have another online account. The first jewelry account is a $10,000 credit limit. Why is this important? When you start to build your credit, after about 6 months of paying on time and those accounts building on your credit profile, when you're eligible to start applying for regular credit cards, your Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express type of credit cards, you're going to more than likely get a match on the type of credit card limits that you have. So what does that mean? One of our credit cards that we recommend has a $10,000 credit limit. This is the one we start you off with. This is our step 1. We send you here. You apply. There's a $149 enrollment fee. You fill out the application. You pay the $149. They report a $10,000 credit limit to your credit profile. Why is this important? It's very, very important because now you're starting that building process. 1, you have a 0 balance with a $10,000 credit limit. That's keeping utilization rates very low. It's keeping that 0%. Second step, you're going to get another jewelry account, $5,000 credit limit. What does this do? Now you have 2 cards, $15,000 in credit limits available. And then the third one, third account is another $5,000 limit. So you have 3 cards, $20,000 in credit limits. And then what we're going to recommend is get 1 or 2, and it's all based on your budget, but 1 or 2 accounts to help with the building to get you to that 5. Remember, we said we want you to have 3 to 5 revolving accounts. After you get the 3 to 5 revolving accounts, we want you to get an installment account. What's an installment account? An installment account is the amount that you borrow, and you have a fixed amount that you pay monthly. A lot of times you can go to your bank and see if they have a builder loan, a credit builder loan. What is a credit builder loan? This is a type of loan where you put in money every single month and they report the payment monthly. Now, usually what you're able to do is you can do this for 12 months. Do it for 12 months, you make a payment every month. Let's say you're doing $1,000 limit, $1,000 loan. You pay $83. So let's say for argument's sake, it was $90 a month. You pay $90 a month. At the end of the 12 months, you get $1,000. But they've reported payment history on an installment account. Now, why is it important that we're talking about installment and revolving accounts? That's because of a thing called credit mix. Credit mix is 10% of your credit score, and this is going to help let the bureaus know that you're able to manage 5 different accounts, 6 different accounts because you have the one installment. So, and 6 different accounts and different types of accounts. Okay. So this is how you're going to build your credit profile properly. A lot of times, we start in a negative place. Like, we think that there's no place for us to go. Now, what we're doing is we're trying to give you the blueprint to combat where you were and where you're going. Because that's why the rear view mirror is smaller, because we don't want you to focus on that. We want you to focus on the windshield so you can see exactly where you're going to the future, because the future is what's going to propel you. Okay. So sorry I went off on a tangent there, but we're going to go ahead and talk about some of these other things. Now, closing accounts. This is very important because the third biggest section is credit history. What's credit history? Credit history is when you take your accounts and you have an average of all the accounts and how long they've been open. You want to have an average over 7 years. Once you get over that 7-year mark, your score, your file is built. It's built, it's thick. It's kind of what they want to see. They want to see at least 7 to 8 year history. But once you're at that 7-year mark, you're golden. It's 15% of your credit score. So it's the third largest section of your FICO score. Very important. So you never want to close accounts unless absolutely necessary. If you're having to pay, monthly or yearly annual fees for an account that's no longer beneficial to you, then and only then is when I'd recommend to close the account. But for the most part, you never want to close accounts. Let's piggyback on that. Let's say that you have a car loan and you're making payments on it every month. Okay. Let's say you're making multiple payments. You want to pay that off in like 2 years. Let's say it's a 6-year loan. But you're just tackling. You're paying. You're tackling that because you want to pay it off in 2 to 3 years, half the time. If you pay that off in half the time, your score will drop. I've seen it happen personally. I had a 2016 car. I paid it off in 2019, exactly 3 years into the loan. I had 3 more years to go. I paid it off 3 years early. Now, you would think that would help me, but in fact, it did hurt me. My score dropped like 30 points. So what would I suggest you do if you're in that particular situation? What I would recommend you do is you pay it off, pay it off as much as you want, and then just leave a balance of, say, $36. Let's say in my situation, I had 3 more years, 36 more months to go. Leave a balance of $36 in there that you owe to the bank for the car. And you set up auto draft, auto bill pay, and mail $1 to your car loan every month. And then this will help you to keep that loan open as long as possible. Okay, so that's something I wanted to just kind of throw out there. Inaccurate information on your credit report. And this is a big thing as well. Now, credit utilization, I'm not sure if I told you that it's 30% of your credit score. So it's a large amount right behind how you pay your bills. Okay, so talking about inaccurate information, let's say that you have a credit card, right? And you have a $10,000 credit limit. Now, let's say that you didn't use the full 10,000. Let's say that you used $1,000, right? And you bought something for $1,000. Now let's say that you had a $900 balance. So even though you're at 9% utilization, effectively you're at 9%, they're counting you as having used 80% of your FICO score. Not your FICO score, of your limit. So because they're inaccurately reporting what your credit limit is, they're not reporting the credit limit. They're reporting your high balance as your credit limit, which is $1,000, but you have an $800 credit balance. So that's 80%. 800 is 80% of 1,000. but it should have been reporting that credit limit as 10,000. So this will have a big impact on your scores. Okay, inaccurate information. So we always want to make sure that we focus on what's being reported. We want to make sure that the balances are always correct, as well as credit limit. We want to make sure that they're not using your high limit, and in fact, they are using your credit limit. Okay. You've experienced a major event such as a foreclosure, a bankruptcy, repossession. They think these things are killers for your credit. They will drop your scores dramatically, very fast, like immediately. So this is another reason why your scores could drop. You get a new collection pop up on your credit score, on your credit report. Things like this, 90 day late, that's going to hurt you. So these are the things that you don't want happening. Right now, because we're in the COVID era, call up your creditors if you can't make your payments. Ask them if you can skip your payments. Ask them if you can skip your payments, and ask them, hey, COVID-19 has my hours reduced. Is there any way that we can skip a few months' payments, defer my payments for a while? Call them up and ask. The worst they could say is no, but with the CARES Act, I believe they will let you do something. Okay. So these are just some of the things that we wanted to talk about with you today. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave some information in the details, the description. If you want our credit building blueprint, fill out the form. There's going to be a form in the comment section below. Just go ahead and fill that out in our description. Fill that form out. We'll go ahead and email you a copy of our credit building blueprint. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Please like this video. Share the video with anybody you feel may be interested in learning a little bit about credit and kind of how it works and how you can help build your scores. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to start doing videos, educational videos, so we can go ahead and talk about different things with credit. We're going to talk about the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. What I'll do is I'll ask questions and we'll go ahead and research together so we can kind of see exactly where we are with what's going on. So with that, I just want to say thank you for watching the video. Like I say, if you have questions, comment below. I'll get back with you. You guys have a good day.